Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 15th of November, comes to you from London. And a quick start with European gas and power prices up around 5% this morning. We'll come back and look at these in detail, but it's really interesting that we're seeing that this morning. And our call out to clients first thing, really quite interesting. No changes there over what we said on Friday. So it's a continuation of what we've been saying about the markets, and that's the call for today, what moves we expect to see happening. So we start by quickly having a look at the macro, what's going on. This is actually a Ethereum chart. I hold Ethereum, I should disclose that. Another upside target brewing here. So we are seeing that no stopping crypto, and we'll have a look at Bitcoin in a moment. The dollar has had a strong week last week. We're seeing that weekly candle there. Remembering this is the weekly, daily, and 60-minute chart, long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. If we're below, we're bearish. So really interesting to see that dollar strength continuing. Lots of little upside targets there on the short-term chart. So we expect another quite strong week for the dollar. That means that the euro is looking weaker. That trend is very steady down for the dollar. A lurch down on the short-term chart, sideways. Don't be surprised to see another lurch down, and we are starting to break below the cloud on the weekly. So dollar strength very much the theme for 2022 based on those long-term chart changes. Looking at the British pound, we're seeing that also trending lower against the dollar, a little bit stronger this morning, but this downside target of 131 hanging over us. So we are just seeing these downside targets on the long-term chart starting to come back into play. Looking at the euro sterling chart, we see sterling actually stronger here, and again has just been trending higher. So at the moment sterling still has the upper hand. Upside targets there to play for on that 60-minute chart, so keep an eye on those as well. Look at Bitcoin, we're at $66,000, still pushing towards that $83,000 target on both charts, and we do have the shorter term interim targets of $70,000 and $72,000. So don't be surprised to see Bitcoin going higher, and we've got the short term targets in train as well. This new one to 70 just kicked in this morning, so that's key. Watching these new targets come in all the time is key to your trading decisions. Looking at the S&P 500 index, we're up nearly 0.75% on Friday, so still looking good. 6.8% is the upside target on all three charts there, so it does suggest that we've got the ability to go higher. And the same with the Nasdaq, was looking higher there as well, bullish above the cloud. We did fall back a little bit in the week, but we've held on to that bullish trend. And the futures this morning continuing higher. We've got the S&P future up 0.2%, the Nasdaq E-mini up 0.25%. The VIX volatility is up also, so the fear index is climbing a little bit, but the reality is we are still at fairly historic low levels for the last year or so. In Europe, we've little changed. We've got the DAX up 0.7%, Paris up 0.25%, but holding on to these gains, and these upside targets still very much in place for European equities. Japan was little changed, up 0.4%. So we see here Tokyo still holding on to its bullish trend on all three time frames. The Hang Seng was up 0.25%. China was down very slightly, and so we are just seeing China just trending a little bit lower there on the short-term chart. The Sensex in India is up 0.25%, still pushing towards this big upside target, and a new target brewing here. You can easily just put that target on the chart and see the levels that it goes to once you've got a lock on the column. That target will auto-generate itself once that column has properly locked. So it's cheating a little bit to put the target on before it actually finishes locking. The Aussie market up 0.33%. And so that's looking pretty strong as well. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Soft commodities, wheat is up 0.25%. Had a very strong week last week, breaking out, and we got these upside targets on the long-term chart. So still looking pretty bullish there as well. And if we look at gold, we're seeing here that's holding on to that 1861 level. Again, had a very strong week last week, putting us back into bullish territory, looking to these upside targets now. 1866 was the target that was given last week, and that's where we've got to. So the target's been met. Silver also looking strong, breaking through now above the cloud. So we're seeing strength there as well. US 10-year yields down this morning, down 1.5%. Down 1 to 1.55%, down 2.4%. So we are seeing interest rate fears just receding at the moment. So that's quite key as well. A quick look at COVID cases in Europe, because this is becoming quite worrying. We're seeing increased rates, daily increases around 5% in new cases in France. And of course, we've got the news this morning that Austria's closing. This Austria chart going through the roof. This is new daily cases smoothed. UK just starting to climb a little bit again, and Germany catching up. So we are seeing this move to higher levels. This is France and Italy here lower, but Europe not looking great there. Looking at the energy mix now, we start with Brent Crude. We're seeing here crude oil just sinking a little bit lower. We've got these downside targets. We were neutral on crude to clients this morning, but these targets are kicking in. We actually said neutral with bearish potential, and that's now starting to show. And this is the one thing about putting up the analysis at first thing in the morning. We will see a change through the day as we get new targets kicking in. So we are starting to see more bearishness coming into crude. Same with WTI, clear downside targets brewing there. This break of support now looking quite likely. US nat gas sitting at $4.81. Again, this was a bit of a harder call this morning because we don't have clear targets. We've said if we break 475, that would be bearish. Coal sitting at 103. It just has gradually come lower, and we are starting to see signs that we might see the lagging line wandering below the daily cloud. Coal was really the first product in energy to break lower on the 60-minute cloud, and so we're seeing that now being the first product to actually start breaking the daily cloud. So that may not be good news for the rest of the energy mix, but we are still struggling to get above the cloud, so no clear recovery here for coal prices. Emissions looking very strong. We made our call to clients this morning given the targets as well. We're above the cloud here, starting to nudge new highs. Remember that gas and power are nowhere near making the highs that we saw weeks ago. Emissions is close to doing that, so that is very bullish indeed, and we've got good upside targets all around. Remember to use these percentage box sizes. That's quite key, using log scale percentage box sizes. And this is the European, so this is the UK emissions price, and we've got a target there to play for as well, and again we're above the cloud. Quite a different looking chart, but still looking pretty good. Gas prices, we're seeing UK gas NBP starting to nudge higher. We've got work to do just to break out of this range. We can see that range pretty clearly there. 208 is the level, and that's just putting that range tool on. But we are breaking above the cloud. That is the really key thing, and we've highlighted that to clients this morning, that we are breaking above the cloud. We're not yet breaking resistance, and the targets we've given are not that exciting, but the fact is we are edging higher and we're bullish above the cloud. And the same with TTF. So will this recovery continue? We see the prices here on TTF, much the same picture there as well. We've got an upside target here this morning that's just kicked in, so that's looking a little bit better. And if we look at German power, we're sitting at 4.5% higher. Again, that has broken. That is really good news for German power, and that break is a little bit clearer than what we've seen on the gas prices. So we are above this morning. Can we hold that? A new target brewing here also for German power, and of course on your OTC data you'll have even better visibility, but we need to break higher to actually activate that target. And the other one that we've been bullish on is Nordic power, and that is running again above the cloud, so looking very strong there as well. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.